into talking about books. This is the joy of having a book YouTube channel, which is that I don't have to read, I just talk about reading. It's the same as when I want to write a script. I don't have to even start writing, I just think about it, and I just tell you about it, you know. Oh, I'm writing a script, am I? Not really, no, I'm just telling you about it. What am I here for? I've bought a lot of books recently. Is this a good thing? Yeah. Don't go into the whys and the whats and all that. I've got a lot of books, and I want to tell you what they are, whether I know anything about them, or just the basic premise, really. The first one is probably the most mainstream. This is Sally Rooney's Intermezzo. I hate the cover. Phew, that was close. That's harsh. I don't like the cover for this. The American cover has like the chessboard and it's all in yellow and it looks so nice. It's interesting, it's very minimalist, and I appreciate that about the UK covers sometimes. It's just a bit, you know, underwhelming in comparison to that one. Intermezzo is about chess and about relationships, and I'm sure about sex as well because it's Sally Rooney.
Do I make you horny, baby? Do I? Do I make you randy?
And I very much like her style. She doesn't always win me over. Beautiful World I wasn't huge on, but I loved Normal People. Amazon had it for £10. Do as I say, not as I do. Shop at a local bookstore and get this, because they may have it for 10 quid. If they don't have it for 20, don't buy it.
What's that ominous glow in the distance?
The next book I'm going to tell you about is this one here. This is Kazuo Ishiguro's Never Let Me Go. Probably, aside from Remains of the Day, his most well-known work. I've seen the film for this. I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention, I think, when I found out certain things in it. I was like, what? Why is that going on? Because I wasn't listening properly. This was in my stupid days, which I'm still going through. This is about and about... I may have spoiled that. So this is about a group of students growing up in a darkly skewed version of contemporary England. They're at this seemingly idyllic school. However, there's things happening behind the scenes, you know, shenanigans going on.
You know what you are, Flintlock Wood? No, a shenaniganizer.
I'm very interested in this. I very much like Kazuo Ishiguro's style. I loved his debut, A Pale View of Hills. I think that book is brilliant. Not stopped thinking about it really since I read it. This is a much later work for him, and I'm excited to read it. I've got 3 books by Russian author and satirist Mikhail Bulgakov, the writer of The Heart of a Dog, which is one of my favourite books that I've ever read. It's about a mad scientist, in essence, who implants into a dog the testicles and pituitary gland of a dead man. I love thinking about that book, it's so brilliant. I was just enamoured with his style and his wit, and I thought I really want to explore the rest of his work. I've got The White Guard, I've got The Master and Margarita, and I've got Black Snow. I think I'm missing one. I think he also wrote The Country Doctor's Notebook. I'm probably most excited to read The Master and Margarita because I've heard so much about it. But I'm also worried because it's meant to be quite intellectual and I'm only a mere human, I'm only a mere brainlet. And then I'm also interested in reading Black Snow, which is also known as a theatrical novel, because that's talking about the inner workings of an artist, and you know me, I love stuff like that. I love self-inserts in books, and I love reading about artists and about filmmakers, and any film that has a filmmaker in it, I'm just like, yeah, go on. The next 2 or 3 are the same situation. This is another author that I've got a couple of. These are 3 books by William S. Burroughs. I've got Queer, which I've talked about in my most recent video. I've got Junkie, and I've got The Place of Dead Roads. So Queer is a homosexual love story about William Lee and his sort of relationship between him and this man called Eugene Allerton. Then Junkie is a sort of autobiographical take on Burroughs' time as a heroin addict. This book basically got him noticed as an author. It's very provocative, very controversial, and I'm excited to read that one. And A Place of Dead Roads is a sort of satirical, surrealist western, and I've got a hankering to read hankering.
Fetch me my Winstons, I'm hankering for a smoke.
I've got a hankering to read some Western novels. Ever since I've read Blood Meridian.
Wait. Go back one.
What do you say?
Ever since I've read Blood Meridian.
Bring his face up. Full screen.
Ever since I failed to read Blood Meridian, I really want to finish a Western book. So the next book that I've got is this one here. This is Shooting Martha by David Thewlis. This is purely based on David Thewlis himself. I love David Thewlis because not only is he a fantastic actor, he played Johnny in Naked, which is one of my all-time favourite films, directed by Mike Leigh. He is also just a very clever bloke, and he seems very erudite and witty. This is about the boundaries between the real life and the creative life, and it's about a way in which a woman takes the part of a man's dead wife in a way to overcome grief, and I just find that fascinating. The premise of this one, I'm so excited to read it. I just hope it delivers. What's next? Oh yeah. Now, this is probably one of the coolest covers of any book that I've got. This is Death and the Penguin, by Andrei Kurkov, and this is about an aspiring writer who has a pet penguin called Misha. He's composing obituaries for people that aren't dead yet, so he takes matters into his own hands, and I believe there is a murder involved. I assume so from the cover, which is just, it's a genius cover. It's so cool. I'd heard it's really funny, and I'm a fan of black comedy. One of my favourite filmmakers is Martin McDonagh. Heart of a Dog, you could definitely say, is dark comedy, considering what it's about. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. It seems like my kind of thing anyway. Now, this bugger here, this is something that I can't stand about books. Now, normal people have this, where the cover is shorter than the actual pages. Why do you do this? It's just stupid. It's just awful. Look at that. Look at it. It's going to make me swear, that's how bad it is. I don't really know what it's about. I've heard that it's very, 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 very good. An epic tale of love, loss, and everything in between. So it's very much covering the sort of human experience. And I've heard very high praise of this, despite this dreadful cover situation that's going on. It's one of those that I think I'm going to put on the back burner because it is mahoosive. And I'm terrible with big books. Speaking of being terrible with big books, these are two colossal books that I'm going to struggle to get to. Look at that. That's just not right. Give us a break, we're only human. This is just two books by Donna Tartt. She basically started the genre of dark academia, which is one I think I would like, but I'm sort of on the fringes of. I don't know too much about it. So it's her debut work, The Secret History, and her latest book, The Goldfinch. I'm just very excited to get into these when I've got the brain power and the capacity to actually do it. The Secret History is about a group of students who are living in this elite college, and they discover this entire new way of thinking in this sort of realm of existence. Very much got that sort of gothic atmosphere. But The Goldfinch is about this sort of realm that exists in a painting, I think. It sounded very interesting. It's 800 pages long, you know. I am but a boy. I can't read that at the moment. So when I'm older, when I'm wiser, when I'm 64, is when I will read these probably. So the final one, this is Jack Kerouac's The Dharma Bums, a spiritual quest of a group of friends in search of Dharma, or truth. Written in Jack Kerouac's spontaneous prose style. This was just because I read Mackie Cassidy and I was really interested in Jack Kerouac's style and how he sort of writes about certain things, especially love. And I'm excited really to get into this when I do. I think we sort of get drawn to certain people as sort of personalities. It's why a lot of authors tend to get to that sort of point in their life where they sort of transcend the status of being an author and become a personality or an idea. It's like Stephen King is not really an author. He's, he's an institution. He basically is the concept of the horror author. That is Stephen King. He's not a person anymore. And I think like Kerouac is not really a person. He is the beat genre. I'm rambling here, as Kerouac often does. I'm looking forward to getting into this. I just want to give it a chance. I don't really know what the whole sort of scene of it is. I'm just excited to read his words because he is interesting and I like how he says things. Isn't that why we read anyway? That's all the books that I've bought recently. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is very sort of, loosey-goosey type thing. We'll see you next time with some maybe more composed content. Bye-bye.